Hi everyone, welcome to Rike Sports and our preview for the Snooker Players Championship, which gets underway later today. It's one of the big tournaments of the season, and there's top 16 players who qualify for it. But unlike the Masters, it's not the top 16 players overall, it's the top 16 players for this season who have got the most points in this season so far. Should be a really cracking tournament. Players are in really good form coming into this. So looking back at the snooker we've seen since the last preview I've done, which was the Masters, that was a really good tournament. It was won by a surprise winner there, Yan Bingtao. Really good young player who won his first major tournament, performed really well throughout that tournament, winning many deciding frame matches, and then in the final done really well to beat John Higgins. The highlight for me for that tournament was the match between John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan. What a match that was. It was some of the best snooker you could ever wish to see. Both players performed so well. John Higgins was just that little bit better, and he was playing kind of no miss snooker. It was unbelievable, that performance. Really great and a pleasure to watch them two play. We've also had the Championship League Snooker ongoing along with the Pro Series tournament. So these are the shorter formats. For Championship League Snooker's the first to 3 frames, and the Pro Series is first to 2 frames. So some really good snooker there. We then had the German Masters, which was won by Judd Trump. He retained his title, done really well in that tournament. He was in a really difficult situation at one point against Barry Hawkins. He was trailing 5-1 in the first to 6 match. Came back 3 centuries in a row, including that amazing shot on the green. And then, went on to win the match in the deciding frame 6-5 and went on to win the final quite comfortably. Great performance from him. The latest tournament was the Welsh Open, which was on last week. It just finished last night. We had a big upset there as the 81st ranked player in the world, Jordan Brown, was the winner. He performed really well. He beat Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final, 9-8. Done so well throughout the tournament. Had many deciding frame matches there, including one against Mark Selby. Done so well to come through that. It was one of the biggest upsets we've seen in a ranking tournament, where he was 750 to 1 pre-tournament to win it, and in the final as well, he was a huge underdog. The Ronnie O'Sullivan was 1 to 14 on to win that. So amazing performance from Jordan Brown, and that's got him into this week's tournament, the Players Championship as well. So looking forward to this tournament now. So as I said, it's the best 16 players of this season so far, and the number 1 ranked player is Judd Trump. Goes into it as the favourite. Behind him, the second favourite is Ronnie O'Sullivan. We know he performed really well last week in the Welsh Open. Prior to that final, he had only dropped 2 frames getting to the final, so he comes into it in really good form. Then there's Neil Robertson and Mark Selby also in this tournament. They've been in great form this season, as we know, so it's going to be a really competitive tournament and difficult to predict who will go on to win. As we know, there's a great depth in snooker, just proved by last week, the fact that Jordan Brown, ranked 81 in the world, went on to win the tournament. There's great depth of talent in snooker at the moment, and we're really lucky to see all these amazing great players playing each other, and so many tournaments, as I was saying, we've had recently and many more to come. We've got the Players Championship this week, then we've got the Gilberto Open, we've got the Tour Championship, and then also the conclusions to his Championship League and Pro Series tournaments, and then we head into the big one, which is the World Championships in April. So lots of snooker to look forward to. So let's get into this one then. So the draw is Judd Trump is facing Stuart Bingham in his first round match. I don't think Bingham's been in the best of form recently, and as we know, Judd had a little blip at the Welsh Open last week. He lost a best of 7 frame match for the first time in many, and you just got to look at it as a little blip. It can happen to any of the players, as we know. It's really competitive snooker now, as I was saying, and it was an off day for Judd, so I won't read too much into that. I'll still say he's in great form and in better form than Stuart Bingham is. Stuart Bingham is a really good player, former world champion, but I think this should be a comfortable win for Judd. Then next is Zhao Zilong and Barry Hawkins. That's a bit of a tighter match, you know. Both players have been playing well. As I was saying, Barry Hawkins done really well in the German Masters. Zhao Zilong done well in the Welsh Open last week. He lost to Ronnie O'Sullivan, who was playing amazing, but otherwise he had a really good tournament, and he's been in good form the last couple of years. He's got to a final, so tight call. I'm going to go for Zhao Zilong to win that one. Be tight, but I think could go to the deciding frame. It would be like a 6-4 match. And then we've got Martin Gold and Jack Lewinsky. Again, tight one to call there. Jack's been in good form. He's got to a couple of finals recently. We know in the World Grand Prix and in that German Masters where he lost to Judd on both occasions. But he's been showing more consistency this season. Martin Gold as well has got to a final this season against Mark Selby in the European Masters. Was playing okay as well last week in the Welsh Open, but again came across a really informed Ronnie O'Sullivan. So again, going to be a tight one. Could be a deciding frame or 6-4 either way. I'm going to go for Jack to come through that one. So then the next one is Ronnie O'Sullivan against Ding. And their previous meeting at the Masters was a really close one. Ding had a great chance to beat Ronnie there, but didn't take it. And overall, Ronnie has a great record against Ding. And as I say, Ronnie is in good form. He lost the final yesterday, but prior to the final, he only dropped 2 frames in getting to the final of the Welsh Open. So he's coming into this in really good form, and I think he should win that one comfortably. Next up, in the bottom half of the draw, we got Neil Robertson taking on Nu Ning. So Nu Ning's one of the emerging players, had a really good season, that's why he's qualified for this tournament, but I'd expect Neil to win that one, would go into it as a heavy favourite. We know he's had a good season, he's won the UK Championships. He unfortunately had to pull out of the Welsh Open last week due to personal reasons, but if he plays at his best, he should be too strong for Nu, and I think he'll comfortably win that one. Then you've got Kyron Wilson versus Ryan Day. I think that's going to be closer. Ryan Day's been in good form recently, he won the shootout and performed quite well in the Welsh Open last week before he lost to Sean Murphy, who was playing really well there. So Ryan Day should be capable of giving Kyron Wilson a good match. We know Kyron Wilson is one of the top players, he's been playing well. He qualified from his group in the Championship League, beating Ronnie O'Sullivan in the process there as well. And you know, he got to the World Championship final last season. He's had a steady year this season. He's won the last Championship League as well in 2020 as well. So you know, he's a good player, one of the top players. But so I'm going to edge for him. But again, I think it'll be close. Could be a 6-5, 6-4 to him in that one. Then next up, we've got John Higgins versus Jordan Brown. So Jordan Brown will come into this with his confidence really high after making his major breakthrough, winning last week's Welsh Open. John Higgins has been in great form, as I was saying. That performance against Ronnie O'Sullivan was amazing. He got to the Masters final, performed really well. Yang Bintang was just a little bit better for him in that final, but John would have to go into it as the clear favourite. I know Jordan done so well to win last week, but I think John should win this one quite comfortably. And then the final match of the first round is Mark Selby versus Mark Williams. Mark Williams performed well last week in the Welsh Open, got to the semi-finals, again came up against a very strong Ronnie O'Sullivan, so lost out there, but has been in good form. I saw him in the Championship League as well, he's performing quite well there. And then Mark Selby, being in good form again this season, he's won 2 tournaments and performed quite well. Lost out to Jordan Brown, but as in a really close battle, it went to a deciding frame. So comes into this in good form, and I think he'll be too strong for Mark Williams. If that all went according to my predictions, that would then mean we have a quarterfinal lineup of Judd Trump versus Zhao Zilong. I think Judd will be too strong for that one. I think Judd will be too strong in that one and win that one quite comfortably. Then the next quarterfinal would be between Jack Lisowaski and Ronnie O'Sullivan. That would be a really great match. As I was saying, Jack's been in good form recently, and Ronnie, we saw how well he performed in the Welsh Open. So both players will be coming into this in good form, high on confidence. It will be a cracking match, I think, but I think Ronnie will be too strong for Jack and win that one quite comfortably too. Then in the bottom half, the quarterfinals, there would be Neil Robertson will be taking on Kyron Wilson. I think Neil will be too strong for Kyron. I think Neil, as we know, he's one of the elite players. He's the #2 ranked player in the world. And it'll be close, though. I don't think it'll be a comfortable win for Neil, but I think he will win that one. And the other semi-final will be John Higgins versus Mark Selby. That would probably be the highlight of the quarterfinals there. Great matchup. 2 really good players when it comes to the tactical side of the game. Love watching these 2 play against each other. And I think on current form, you'd have to give the edge to Selby. So it'll be close, as I say, probably a 6-5 match there. And going for Selby. So about to give us a semi-final lineup of Judd Trump versus Ronnie O'Sullivan and Neil Robertson versus Mark Selby, who are the 4 best players in the world in the rankings, in the year rankings and the overall rankings, and in terms of tournament wins in recent times, these are the 4 best players. So that would be a dream lineup for the semi-finals. So predicting a winner of these semi-finals is really difficult. 4 really good players in good form, and so tight to call between them. So first semi-final between Judd and Ronnie, I'm going to go for Judd. Reason being, I think Judd, his overall game is a little bit better than Ronnie's now. Ronnie's A game, I would like from back in the day, you would say would be a match for Judd's current A game, but Ronnie's A game now, I don't think it's as good as Judd's A game now, and Ronnie doesn't produce his A game as consistently as Judd does. In recent times, Judd really has been a phenomenal player. Like, you know, the consistency is amazing. Or his all-round game, all aspects to his game. It's not just the potting, the long potting, his safety, the consistency in putting the high breaks in and winning tournaments. He learned how to get through to the latter stages of tournaments. Really important skill to have. That he's not, even when he's not always playing at his best, he's managing to get through, and then that just shows in his record. To win the amount of tournaments he's won is phenomenal, and he is the best player in the world right now and is the favourite for this tournament, and I believe he will go on to the final, beating Ronnie in the semi-final if they were to meet in the semi-finals. Then the other semi-final between Neil Robertson and Mark Selby, again, I believe it'll be really close. You know, could go to the deciding frame, it'll be close either way. I think you've got to give Mark Selby the edge slightly because Neil Robertson's not played so much recently. As I was saying, he had to pull out of last week's tournament, the Welsh Open. Also, he's not played in the Championship League Snooker or the Pro Series recently. Mark Selby has been playing there. And also in the Masters, we saw that, you know, he had an early exit there. Selby had an early exit there too. But, man, like I say, Selby's played more recently than Neil has. So, you know, that slight edge I'd give. You could say that Neil comes into it fresher, so there's two arguments to that, but you know, I just think that match sharpness that Mark Selby's going to have will give him the edge here. So I'm going for him to win that, and that would be a final therefore of Judd Trump versus Mark Selby. That would be a cracking final, and again, going to go with Judd. I think, like I say, he's the world's best player, and he's just that little bit better than the rest of them. So consistent, phenomenally consistent. He's won so many tournaments in the last 2 years. And I think he's going to win this tournament again, defend his title, and be the 2021 Players Champion. That's all for me. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share.